Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Owambe Rockers. Today we'll be learning how to sew this trending strapless halter neckline gown from Sew with Mediva on YouTube. You can follow her on Sew with Mediva on YouTube to learn more styles. So guys, sit back and enjoy this detailed and easy to understand style in just 10 minutes. Don't forget to like, share and comment for more. Thank you. Bye.
So go
See
ahead
you
to fold your
guys at the
fabric
end of
into
the
two using
video.
this method. So I'll open it up now and show you guys how to fold it again. So this is my fabric wide open. I'll pick the base of the fabric, one edge, and cross it over this way until I have something like this. So at this point, what you have at this upper part is going to be the same as what you have on the lower part. I hope you guys understand now. So like I said earlier, the longest you can have for this dress using an Ankara fabric is going to be around 44 inches, and you will still need to take out your shoulder measurement. So if you want it longer, you need to add to the base of your dress. So after folding into two, the next thing you want to do is to divide your shoulder measurement by 2. For me it is 8 inches. So I'll go ahead to locate where I have 8 inches on my fabric and then mark it out. So to make sure I'm on the safe side, I'm going to measure what I have on both sides of the triangle, and it has to be equal. So mine is equal, meaning I'm on the right track. After that, to create our drawstring casing on the upper part of our dress, I'm going to come up by 1.5 inches from this shoulder line. You can decide to come down by 1.5 inches as well, but I don't want to do mine that way because I don't want the length to be too short, length of my dress to be too short. So instead, I'm going to come up by 1.5 inches and then mark it out. If you come down by 1.5 inches, you're going to have more gathers on the neckline area. I hope you guys understand, but it is still the same thing. After that, the next thing is to mark the full length of our dress. So since the longest part of this fold is 44 inches, I'm going to go ahead to just place my tape roll at the tip of the fabric, the tip of the fold, and mark 44 inches all the way around it. So after taking out my shoulder measurement from the fabric, the full length of my dress ended up to be around 34 inches. So if you want yours longer, you're going to need to add fabric to the base of your dress. So I've marked 44 inches all around this way. So I'll go ahead now to just connect the points together, forming a curve. So this is basically all for the front part of this dress. Let's go ahead to cut it out. So after cutting out, this is what we have. The next thing you want to determine is where you want the back panel to start from. So I'm going to fold in that 1.5 inches allowance I have at the top and just come down to 14 inches. So at this point, you can decide to make the back lower than 14 inches. You can do 15, 16, 17. It just depends on you. But for mine, I came down by 17 inches on the side. And then I'll go ahead to just notch that point. So this is all we'll be needing for the back part of this dress to create that low back effect. This is what it will look like. So I'm going to use the front now to cut out the back. So I'm going to head to fold my fabric into two again, just the way I explained earlier with the front. So I'm going to place my front panel on it now and show you guys the next thing to do. So I'll place the front panel on it this way, making sure the closed angles are on the same side, and then I'll merge the base together. Make sure the length is equal, just as you can see me doing in the video, and make necessary adjustments. So after that, the same place I notched on the front panel, I'm going to just use my chalk to highlight it on the back panel. At that place you notch, go ahead to highlight it on the back panel as well and notch it out. So I'll set the front panel aside, and then I'll go ahead to measure what I have from the top of my fabric, the apex of the fabric, all the way to that notched point. So for mine, I have about 23 inches. So I'm going to come over to the other side and come down by the same 23 inches so I can get a straight line. And then I'll use my ruler to just connect the points together. After connecting, I'll come up from the line by 1.5 inches to mark my elastic casing. I'm going to mark 1.5 inches all the way down and connect the points together. So this is basically all for the back. Let's go ahead now to cut it out. So after cutting out, when you open up, you should have something that looks just like this. So the next thing we want to do is to fold in our elastic casing. I'll fold in half an inch first and fold in 1 inch, and then go ahead to stitch it all the way down. Go ahead to run a straight stitch all the way down. So after doing that, I'll show you guys the next thing to do. So after creating the elastic casing, this is what we have. The next thing we want to do is to pass in our elastic band. And to get the length of elastic band you'll be needing, go ahead to measure what you have on this part. So for mine, I have 36 inches. So you can decide to just divide it by 3, because I divided mine by 2, but at the end of the day, I noticed that the back was still kind of loose, so I had to reduce it to about 12 inches. So I cut out 18 inches initially, but I ended up reducing it to 12 inches because it was not tight at all. So I'll go ahead to cut it out now, and then I'll use my safety pin to pass it in through the casing. I'll pass the pin through my elastic this way and close it up, and then I'll come to one of the open angle of my fold and pass in my elastic with the pin. So after pulling to one side, I'm going to just take it to my sewing machine now and stitch it down before I continue. So I've stitched it down and now I'm passing the elastic to come out from the other opening. So it was at this point I realized that the back was still a bit loose and the gathers were not as full as I wanted it to be. So I had to reduce the length of my elastic band to about 12 inches. So I'll take it to my sewing machine now and just stitch down the elastic to the fabric. So when I'm done doing all of that, I'll show you guys what it looks like. So after stitching down, this is what we have. This is what it looks like. The next thing I want to do is to join this to the front panel. I'm going to open up the front panel this way, and then I'll place the fabrics right sides facing each other. I'll make the sides together this way, and then starting from the base of the fabric, I'm going to go ahead and join the two pieces together using 1 inch all the way to where the elastic band is. So when I'm done with that, I'll fold in the upper part to the wrong side this way, fold it in twice and stitch it all the way down. When I get to that point, I'll just go ahead to fold in the front panel to the wrong side and stitch it all the way up. So I'm going to repeat the same process on the other side. Starting from the base, I'm going to go ahead to stitch it all the way down to the elastic point. And when I get there, I'll fold in the front panel to the wrong side, fold it in twice and stitch it all the way down. When I'm done with that, I'll show you guys. So guys, after joining the sides, this is what it looks like. This is what we have, and I've also finished up the side of the front panel, as you can see. And you can see the back elastic looking so pretty already. The next thing we want to do now is to work on the halter neckline for the front. So what we're going to do is to fold in the fabric twice, fold in half an inch first and 1 inch again, and then go ahead to stitch it all the way down to create your casing. So after stitching, this is what it looks like. I'm gonna head to create my casing. I also went ahead to finish up the base of my dress by folding in twice and stitching all around. So the next thing I want to do now is to create the strap for the halter neckline design. I have this 1.5 inches wide fabric. I'll fold it half an inch on both sides and then fold it in this way and stitch it all the way down. So you can make yours as long as you want, it just depends on you. So I'll be using my pin to pass in the strap again, just like we did with the elastic band. So I'll come to one open end and pass in the strap this way till it comes out from the other opening. So after passing through, this is what it looks like. So you're going to use this strap now to create the gathers in front for your dress. So when you wear your dress, you're going to just pull the fabric this way together to